Hi folks, I am Alan Watt and this is Cutting Through the Matrix. I've talked before about politicians, I've talked ad nauseum about politicians and how really studies were done on the past on psychopathic personalities. They used to think the psychopaths were the lowest street crime type that could see something in a window and they have no tolerance of frustration, so they smash the window and steal it. That's what they used to find very, very often. But of course, because psychiatrists themselves tended to come from an upper class, it never dawned on them to look into, is it possible that psychopaths go all the way up into the upper class? And lo and behold, studies were done back in the 60s and 70s, and they were shocked to find there certainly were psychopaths in the upper class, lots and lots and lots of them, in fact. And they found that many of them went into politics, which shouldn't surprise us because the psychopath is addicted to power and an easy time of it. He likes conning people. He gets off on the con, manipulating people. In fact, that's the talent of the psychopath. They have no real convictions on anything, but they become great leaders of convictions when they smell the wind is going off in a certain direction. They pop up all over the place as leaders. And the general public never catch on to it, how this personality really is. I can remember when Blair was talking about his time in office, and it came up during the interview about Iraq, and he says, oh, that hassle, he says, and he dismissed it and went on to something else. Well, that hassle that he pushed so hard for, this one-man band that wanted to go to war with Iraq, had who knows how many people killed. But to him it was, a hassle, Now he's on to bigger and better things for his career. But that's the average politician, to be honest with you. They're lifelong politicians, and they are psychopathic. They have no empathy for others. They're egocentric. The world revolves around them, and all they have to do is save their ego. It doesn't matter what they've done or the circumstances they're found in, or they'll deny everything to save their ego. This article here is about the psychopath Blair, and it's from the Herald in Scotland. It says, Blair selling his soul with six-figure speeches. This is what they do when they come out of politics, the grounds and just rake in the cash. A lot of it is paybacks, mind you, for things they did during their time in office. This is a legal way of getting their payback. Either through books or whatever, where they're offered millions of pounds or dollars in advance. That's how you pay them off, you see. And directorships on companies, which they don't even have to attend, and so many shares. But this is from the 25th of January 2010. So Blair is set to receive a six-figure sum for giving a series of talks. And as I say, it's called Blair selling his soul with six-figure speeches deal. Well, personally, I don't think he's ever had a soul to sell it, to be honest with you. Maybe that's what a psychopath is. It says, Tony Blair is set to receive a six-figure sum for giving a series of talks to a hedge fund. Listen to this, to a hedge fund that reportedly made millions by betting on the collapse of British banks. There's integrity for you, eh? He's going to give a series of talks to a hedge fund that made millions by betting on the collapse of the British banks. And of course the taxpayers of Britain had to, and still are, and for an awful long time to come, paying back all that stuff that was lost. Critics have accused Mr. Blair of selling his soul after details of his forthcoming private speeches to Lansdowne Partners emerged. Reports claim that company made £100 million on the demise of Northern Rock and £12 million on the fall in value of Barclays by short-selling shares. Mr. Blair, whose light-touch regulation of the financial industry is criticized for having aided the credit crunch, well, it certainly did, will give 4 talks on geopolitics to executives at the firm, I guess to teach them how to do it better and get more money the next time. He's become one of the world's highest-paid public speakers with a string of engagements organized for him by the Washington Speakers Bureau. The former Prime Minister can command more than £150,000 for a 90-minute talk. He's estimated to have earned at least £15 million since leaving office, with highly paid lobbying jobs. So there you go, you see. There you lobbying. He knows all the guys in government. High paid lobbying jobs and a £4.5 million advance for his memoirs. Now, here's another good part too. He joined JP Morgan, the third largest bank in the US, as a senior advisor on global politics with a reported salary of £2 million. It's understood Mr. Blair will not be taking on a similar role at London-based Landau Partners. Last night, Peter Kilfoyle, Labour MP for Liverpool Walton, said, Blair seems obsessed with making money. Well, he was a Labour man, wasn't he? This rich Oxford boy that all these schmucks voted for, thinking he was a Labour man, the workers. He says, Blair seems obsessed with making money. It is not something I would associate with Labour politics, at least not to that degree. It's rather depressing that he seems to sell his soul. Mr. Kilfoyle said he did not think that Mr. Blair's latest round of money-making activities would surprise many Labour members. Well, see, they should understand what Fabians are. Fabians have no problem about getting stinking rich themselves. They're just obsessed about making everybody else dirt poor and allowing themselves to be bossed by the Fabians. You see? But there's psychopaths for you.